Mastering Crypto Arbitrage, a comprehensive guide for traders. Crypto arbitrage is a trading strategy that has gained significant traction in the volatile cryptocurrency market. It involves exploiting price differences of the same asset across various exchanges, with the objective of buying the asset at a lower price on one exchange and simultaneously
heute den 1. April und ich möchte mal ein paar Trades zeigen. Geht relativ einfach übers Handy, für alle, die es noch nicht probiert haben, unbedingt mal tun. Ihr seht hier in meinem Metamask-Konto sind Matic, die brauchen wir für die Blockchain-Gebühr, $21,55, $541 in Tether, USDT, und die anderen Token sind alle auf 0, sprich auf Tether umgewandelt über Swap, damit man sieht, was nach einem solchen Trade hier gelandet ist. Der zweite unten von rechts, damit komme ich in den Browser von Metamask. Oben ist eine Zeile, da gibt man ein beta.boomerang.trade. Ich bin hier schon eingeloggt und gucke mal, was es gibt. USDT nehme ich nicht, dann sieht man nämlich nicht, was reingekommen ist. Link und Matic könnte man nehmen, das sieht doch gut aus. Link ist vorbelegt. Quantity, wenn ich 70 Link eingebe, habe ich $1292. Und darunter geben wir unten in das weiße Feld Matic ein. Das ist auch schon vorbelegt. Gucken wir, was bei rumkommt. Unten rechts seht ihr 0,9933%. Die nehme ich mit, indem ich in der Mitte auf Confirm klicke. Nochmal bestätigen. Metamask öffnet sich jetzt. Und wir möchten 7,4 Matic, also 7,4 ungefähr $, das ist mir zu viel. Ich klicke auf das blaue unterstrichene 7,4 Matic, um die Blockchain-Gebühr zu verringern. Unten auf das orangene empfohlene Gasgebühr bearbeiten. Dann klicke ich auf aggressiv, bestätige das nochmal und da haben wir noch 1,7. Bestätige das wieder. Und gleich seht ihr oben, ob die Transaktion durchgegangen ist oder nicht. Transaktion complete successfully. Wunderbar. So, dann suchen wir uns gleich das nächste. Machen wir mal 2, 3 durch. Was haben wir? Link USDC könnten wir gleich nehmen. Link. Machen wir diesen 80 Link. USDC ist auch vorbelegt. Gucken wir, was hierbei rauskommt. Also das sind ungefähr $1.500. 0,9% rechts unten in grün, gehen wir wieder auf Confirm, bestätigen das. Metamask geht auf, die Gebühr ist recht hoch mit $6. Ich klicke wieder auf das blaue, empfohlene Gasgebühr bearbeiten, auf aggressiv, speichern und bestätigen. Sind immer noch $1,4, normalerweise ist es deutlich weniger. Das kommt immer so ein bisschen darauf an, was ist in der Blockchain los. Oben seht ihr gleich wieder Transaktion complete, hat also wieder funktioniert. Transaktion 173, so viel habe ich über dieses Konto schon gemacht. Gucke mal als nächstes, was kommt rein. USDC Wrapped Ethereum, nehmen wir gleich USDC. Da können wir auch wieder 1500 nehmen. Submit, Wrapped Ethereum, Wrapped ETH, da ist es schon. Gucken wir, was jetzt bei rauskommt. 0,8% kann ich mit Label, klicke wieder auf Confirm, bestätige das Ganze nochmal. So, 5 Matic wollen sie haben, ist mir zu viel. Ändere ich. Aggressiv. Speichern. 1,4 Matic. Eigentlich immer noch zu viel, aber okay. Oben sieht man gleich wieder, ob es funktioniert hat. So, Transaktion complete successful. So, wir machen jetzt gut 4 Minuten, haben 3 Trades durch. Ich gehe jetzt wieder links unten auf mein Konto, sehe $27 in Chainlink Token, ich sehe $13 in Bridged USDT, das heißt in verdienen 20, 30, $40. Wir haben gerne ungefähr $3 in Matic an Gebühr bezahlt. Kann sich das jeder hochrechnen, funktioniert also wirklich gut und damit wünsche ich euch in Kürze viel Spaß.
Hello and welcome to this presentation of the Boomerang Zero Loss Trading Platform. My name's Joe and I'm a key trainer for the Are All Satoshi and Boomerang ecosystem. And tonight I'm going to be giving you a detailed explanation of how Boomerang works and how you can benefit from what Boomerang has to offer. But before we begin, let me just say, what Boomerang has to offer and what Boomerang can bring to your life is something quite extraordinary and extremely exciting. And I know once you've seen this presentation, you are going to be really excited. So the steps you need to take immediately after are to reach out to the person that's brought you to this presentation, ask them all your questions and get the answers that you want. But most importantly, ask them, how can I get started? Because believe me, this is an opportunity that you really do not want to miss. Okay, so let's begin. I'll share my screen. So this is Boomerang, a zero collateral AI arbitrage protocol. Doesn't that sound amazing on its own? So Boomerang is a fascinating concept that combines elements of artificial intelligence, zero collateral flash loans, and arbitrage trading. There's nothing particularly unique about any of these things. These three things have been around for a long time. Artificial intelligence, we've all heard of artificial intelligence. It's rife in all industries at the moment. But we are probably most commonly aware of artificial intelligence because of our smartphones. Although it's been around for many, many years, we most commonly know it because of our smartphones. Flash loans, we probably haven't heard about flash loans before, but they have been around for around 5 or 6 years. But they have been predominantly only available to top traders and tech developers. And arbitrage trading, we've all heard of trading, but whether any of us have heard of arbitrage trading, I have no idea. But arbitrage trading has been around for decades. It's something the banks have been using for a long, long time. So on their own, each of these concepts is not particularly unusual. But Boomerang is the first platform to bring these three things together and make all three of these things readily accessible to the average everyday person. And that's you and me. But in case you've never heard of any of these things, let's have a look at each of these things and find out what they are. So arbitrage involves exploiting price differences of the same asset in different markets or on different platforms. For example, if an asset is priced lower on one exchange and higher on another, traders can buy the asset on the cheaper platform and sell it on the more expensive one, profiting from the price differential. Now, arbitrage opportunities are fleeting. They come and go very quickly. Sometimes they can last only a few seconds. Some will last a few minutes. But in either case, they take quick execution. They require a fast eye and fast action to be able to execute and capitalize on the price differential. Now, if you break that down, if you think about each section, each separate action involved in executing an arbitrage, I'm sure we've all seen the images of a trader, of a person sitting at a desk with 3, 4, 5 different screens in front of them, and they're monitoring each screen. Well, they're watching different assets. They're seeing, because different assets are priced differently on different platforms, and there can be quite a differential in price from one platform for another. So you imagine this trader has got to sit there watching from one screen to another to spot an asset that is undervalued on one platform, overvalued on another platform. They then need huge amounts of capital on each of these platforms because you don't know which direction you're going to be making the movements. You're not sure. You're going to need a certain amount of assets to be able to buy enough of that asset in order to be able to make the maximum amount of profit. So you could have maybe thousands of dollars just sitting on each platform in waiting, ready for you to be able to use. You've then got to be able to move that asset quickly and efficiently. And then, of course, you've got to be able to sell that asset. And all of that, through all of that process, you're thinking about what you may lose. Because at any moment in that process, it's possible that that trade could become a losing trade. By the time you finished and finalized that transaction, you could have lost thousands of dollars. And sometimes you have to use a middle platform because not all assets are available on every platform. So you'll have to buy the asset on one platform, move it to a secondary platform, swap it for something else, then move it to the final stages platform where you'll be selling it and capitalizing on the profit. Imagine the stress involved in doing that for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. It's not something that can be done in 5 minutes. It's not a skill that can be learned in 5 minutes. It's something that can take years to really fine-tune to be able to make the best of it.
I'm just sitting in my car waiting for a friend of mine to go hiking, and I was thinking to myself, why is it?
What is a DeFi flash loan? Well, a flash loan, whilst relatively new, is a form of uncollateralized loan available to traders on some decentralized protocols based on a blockchain network. And this type of loan allows traders to borrow unsecured loans from lenders without intermediaries. So again, breaking that down, this is allowing you to borrow funds directly from a liquidity provider without having to risk any collateral. You don't need to put your house down as collateral. You don't need any background checks. You don't need a credit check. You're not putting your car on the line. You're not putting expensive jewelry on the line. This is a loan that is completely uncollateralized. This is like going to borrow money directly from the Bank of England rather than going through your local bank. And in fact, actually, this is more like a credit limit because you're not borrowing thousands and thousands of dollars in advance. Excuse me. You're not borrowing thousands of dollars in advance that's going to sit in an account at the side waiting for you to use it, that you're being charged interest on. No, this is a flash loan allowance that you have access to. So it's more of a credit limit so that you are able to use it when you need to. And this is something that we've never had before. As a trader, you've always had to have your own funds sitting on a platform, your own liquidity there, doing nothing, not getting interest, but ready for you to put into action. And the flash loan has changed all of that. And now we, the average everyday person, have access to this service. Now, a flash loan has very strict rules. The smart contract that enacts and interacts with the flash loan company has very strict rules. So when a flash loan has been issued, the smart contract rules that the borrower pays back the loan before the transaction ends. If this condition isn't met, the smart contract reverses the transaction and it's like the loan never happened in the first place. And this guarantees the safety of the funds in the reverse pool. So again, breaking this down, a smart contract is just a very specific type of coding that's designed to act in a very specific way. And this smart contract interacts with the liquidity provider's protocols and allows you to borrow funds. And if you listen to the rest, or if you read the rest of that, the borrower ensures that the borrower pays back the loan before the transaction ends. So again, as I was saying, this is a loan that happens purely in the moment of the transaction, in just seconds, 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. The AI borrows the funds for you to be able to execute the trade. And in the process of that execution, the loan is repaid and the profits are put into your Web3 wallet. I mean, this is just incredible. We could never have imagined of having access to this kind of trading power at any time before. Because where could you go to borrow this, unlimited funds? Where could you go to borrow funds to trade with? That the banks will tell you is at extremely high risk, yet they do it every single day. So that's a flash loan. So here's an example of a flash loan. So you've spotted an asset and you're going to borrow 10 Ethereum in order to be able to buy that asset. And you're now going to move that asset. You're going to borrow 10 Ethereum. You use that 10 Ethereum to buy the undervalued asset on exchange A, and then you move that asset, and you're going to sell it on exchange B for, let's say, 11 Ethereum. So during the finalization of that transaction, the 10 Ethereum that you borrowed is immediately repaid to the lender, the liquidity provider, which leaves you with 1 Ethereum profit. And where does that go? What are you going to do with it? Who has access to that? How do you have access to that? Well, this is the holy grail. That one Ethereum, that profit that you make goes directly to your MetaMask account or any Web3 wallet that is 100% in your control. You're not waiting for anybody to allow you to withdraw. You're not having to pay anybody to give you permission to withdraw. You have got 100% control. For anybody that's involved in crypto, you'll know that MetaMask is a decentralized crypto wallet that only one person in the entire world has access to, and that is the person with the 12-word security phrase. So that means that you have 100% control over your profits, nobody else. And that is something quite extraordinary, because on generally all trading platforms, the profits that are gained are held within that platform, and then you have to withdraw them. And if they don't process or don't allow that withdrawal to go through, there's nothing you can do. You have zero control, but not with Boomerang. With Boomerang, every single profit that you make goes directly into your MetaMask where you have control. Now, if that doesn't excite you on its own, then I have no idea what will. Now, these are some of the challenges that arbitrage traders face and that flash loans can face. So arbitrage usually requires large amounts of capital. You've got to be able to define a clear strategy, because there are thousands of cryptos on the market. How on earth do you scan thousands of cryptos? You can't. You've got to define yourself some kind of strategy to be able to operate efficiently in order to make those profits. You need the ability to create a smart contract. A flash loan cannot just be applied for like a bank loan. You can't just phone them up and say, I want a flash loan. You have to have a smart contract that has the ability to enact, not just create the loan, but have the rules in place and the restrictions in place to make sure that that loan is repaid before the transaction ends. It has to have the ability to integrate with the DeFi protocols. It needs heavy, rigorous testing and back testing to make sure that this works and doesn't fail at any stage. You need to be able to deploy and monitor the smart contract. You need to have the skills to be able to do that, or have a tech team that can do that for you. There's a tremendous amount of risk management involved, so you need some kind of risk management framework. There has to be continuous improvement and adaptability, because the markets will change, the industry will change. I mean, think of what the industry looks like today compared to 10 years ago. Identifying profitable opportunities. You know, how do you do that? You've got to do hours and hours of research. Now, there's a whole host more of challenges. I'm not going to read all of these out. You can pause here if you wish, and you can read all of these for yourself. Understanding market inefficiencies, identifying undervalued assets, exploiting market mispricing. You know, this is skills that take, you know, a long time to perfect and to really understand the markets. So there are many challenges in arbitrage, but in Boomerang, as you'll see, we overcome all of these challenges for you. Finally, arbitrage requires from a trader knowledge and experience. Even with bots, some traders use bots, but you still need knowledge on how to program that bot so that it does things the way you want them done. And then some traders actually have losses or have a problem with the execution, because bots are not always reliable if they're not programmed exactly right. Some traders, they will work by copying other traders' strategies. That's risky in itself, because firstly, in some cases, you never get to know who that trader is that you're copying. You don't know what their experience is. And if they make a mistake and you're copying them, you're going to make the same mistake. And that mistake might mean you lose a couple of $100, could mean that you lose thousands of dollars, because you're relying on the acumen of another person rather than your own skill set. So you can see that this whole industry is, you know, fraught with all sorts of pitfalls that you can fall into at any moment.
Some people wake up and check their phones.
So this is the Boomerang dashboard. This is the basic layout. Boomerang really sits on two tabs. You've got the dashboard where you execute the trade, and you've got the market opportunities tab. And this is the dashboard. It has changed slightly since our update, but this is the basics. It's not tremendously different. It's all broken. All the information of your arbitrage is there. The capability to execute a trade is all within the dashboard. And of course, the second part is the market opportunities tab. And this is where the AI acts as a search engine. You activate the page, the AI will go out into the marketplace. It will find profitable trades and aggregate them together for you in one easy to use platform. Boomerang does not create trades. It simply finds trades and presents them to you in a simple format so that you can understand what you have in front of you and you're able to execute very simply. Now, these trades are what are called linear trades. They operate on just two assets, the asset that you buy and the asset that you're selling it for in order to get the profit. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes you need an intermediary platform, and this is called a triangular trade. So you buy the asset on one platform, you then move it to a secondary platform and swap it for something else. Then you bring it to the final platform where you will execute the sale to get the profit. And this is a triangular trade. And Boomerang AI will execute both of these if necessary. In a matter of seconds, the AI will assess the asset and where that asset can be capitalized on best and the route that's best in order to make the most profit. All of the work done for you, all of the work that arbitrage traders have trained for years, the skills they've honed for years, all done for you at the click of a button right here in Boomerang AI. So this is what's available. So zero collateral flash loans. Every user of Boomerang can receive a loan for a transaction. AI scans available decentralized exchanges and will present the best available trade options. There's no need to have experience or knowledge with trading bots to be a successful trader. AI presents only profitable trades. There is no option to execute a trade with a loss. Now listen to that. That's mind-blowing. AI presents only profitable trades. There is no option to execute a trade with a loss. That has to be a first in the industry. The inability to lose a trade. Where can you go? Nowhere but here with Boomerang. You can see no matter how much you try, you simply cannot execute a losing trade. The AI is designed to reject a trade if it's a losing trade, even midway through the trade. The AI constantly monitors, and if the trade changes from being a profitable trade to a non-profitable trade, the AI will reject the transaction. The user face, seamless user interface, very easy to use. Each trade option is generated in real time. Aggregated flash loan lending, aggregated DEX marketplaces, and top pair suggestions. Everything you need to combat all of the challenges that I was showing you earlier. The extended benefits of the Boomerang AI platform. Flash loans do not require borrowers to provide collateral. There are no credit checks. Flash loans are permissionless and do not involve credit checks or traditional underwriting processes. Instant access. Flash loans are executed instantly within a single block transaction. Flash loans enable traders and arbitrageurs to take advantage of price discrepancies between different cryptocurrencies and exchanges on DeFi platforms. Flash loans can be used to provide liquidity to decentralized exchanges and liquidity pools. Flash loans can be used to provide liquidity to decentralized exchanges and liquidity pools. Actually, those two are exactly the same, but they provide different services. Reduce capital lockup. Flash loans allow users to access capital without locking up their assets. You do not need to enter your bank account into the platform's account. Everything you need is right there, working with another person's money, a liquidity provider's funds. Zero risk. You're not risking your money at all. Lower costs. Flash loans can be more cost effective and compared to traditional lending platforms, since they eliminate the need for intermediaries like banks and credit institutions. These are the networks that we're going to be operating on. Because right now we are currently on the beta phase, we are only operating on the Polygon network. But as we move through the various stages in readiness for the launch in March, we will be operating on the Ethereum network, the Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Phantom, Metis, and Optimism. So you will have a full range of assets and profit percentages. So there are no limitations to your trades or to your profits. Flash loan lending protocols. These are the companies that we will be generating the flash loans from. Currently we are working specifically with Aave, but again, as we move through the various stages, we will be engaging with Radiant, DYDX, and Uniswap. Between these four companies, you will have access to billions of dollars of funding for you to be able to trade with. These are the decentralized exchanges that the AI gathers information from. Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, Curve Finance, Balancer, Clipper, Dodo, ApeSwap, Woofy, Hashflow, Pangolin, Trader Joe. That could be me, Trader Joe. SpookySwap, BuySwap, QuickSwap, GMX, Orca, Trisolaris. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard of most of these. But they all exist, and the AI is going to be using every single one of them to make sure that we get the best possible trading experience. These are the wallets that we'll have, that we are currently operating with: Trust Wallet, MetaMask, Wallet Connect, and Rainbow. But actually you can use any Web3 wallet. The decentralized exchange aggregators that we operate with are Paraswap and OceanSwap. Now these are already aggregators that operate within the crypto space. So this is how we gather information. We use these two platforms and we operate in the same way that they do. This is our roadmap. So looking at the top line there, this is Boomerang 1.0. So the networks are Ethereum and Matic. Currently we're on Matic. Ethereum is coming very soon. The lending protocols are Aave and Radiant. The DEX aggregators. There are 15 decentralized exchanges. And the profit pair suggestions. Well, the fee for the lending, the lender fee, is 0.05%. The platform fee during the beta phase is 0. Then we move to AI version 1.0, which is, to 2.0. So then we'll add 3 more chains onto network, 2 more lending protocols, which is DYDX and Curve, and DEX and Algo as the trading pairs cross. Then we move to Boomerang 3.0. So networks, 3 more chains again, and then we'll be finally adding Uniswap to the lending protocol, and the auto trading will be the latest feature that's added. Think about that. An AI bot to be added so that this will become fully automated. The AI bot will work to do all of the trading for you, which means you'll be trading when you're asleep, trading when you're at work, trading when you're driving, 24 hours a day. It will all be done for you, 24/7 passive. Imagine that. You're not even going to have to trade. It will all be done for you. And then, of course, there will be a mobile application that you can download to your phone. Currently, we're accessing Boomerang through a DApp online, and on your phone, you can access it through your Web3 wallet and its inbuilt web browser. At the final stages, there will be a platform fee introduced of 5%. That platform fee will automatically be included within the entire transaction process and automatically deducted. So the final percentage profit that you see will be the final percentage profit that you receive.
Als het om cryptovaluta gaat.
And this is why you need Boomerang, because Boomerang prepares profitable trades and keeping the execution of arbitrage trades for the trader. Smart contracts lock in the trader parameters, ensure timely execution, and facilitate the movement of assets between different markets or platforms. By using smart contracts and AI, Boomerang protocols can achieve a high degree of automation, transparency, and reliability in executing arbitrage trades without the need for manual coding or analysis. The key elements of your success trades. Arbitrage is the purchase and the sale of an asset in order to profit from the difference in the asset price between marketplaces. There is no risk of losing money should a sequence of trades not execute as expected. The transactions will be reverted due to the lack of funds because the smart contract isn't able to repay a flash loan or before the others do. So that's a really important part, because remember, you are borrowing assets from a liquidity provider. So if the transaction was to execute as a losing trade, you would be indebted to the liquidity provider. So as explained earlier, part of the rules of the smart contract are that the trade cannot be executed unless it is a profitable trade. And that's why we can quite proudly state that there is no risk of losing money should a sequence of trades not execute as expected. And that means you are 100% safe. It does not require any kind of prediction algorithm or stop loss strategy. And that can be very difficult to program in. What sort of stop loss? And listen, as an individual trader, the odds are stacked against you. You've got these huge companies that trade millions and millions of dollars every day, and they see every single trade that's there ready. So the odds are stacked against you because they can move the markets to their advantage because they trade in such large amounts. But with Boomerang AI, you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. So you don't need any specific algorithm or stop loss strategy. Rather, it deals with finding profitable opportunities in the present moment before they disappear. So that is Boomerang. That is everything that you need to know about Boomerang. And I'm quite sure that now you are sitting there, eyes agog, jaw open, thinking, oh my God, what an extraordinary opportunity. And it really is. It really is. There's nothing else out there like this. And what Boomerang is presenting you with is something that can change your life. So speak to the person who introduced you to this presentation. Ask them all the questions that you had. Get all the answers that you require. And then find out how you can get started. We run these Zooms regularly throughout the week. So we hope to see you on some of those Zooms. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.